Hello friends, today we will be learning to make amazing and yet healthy donuts, and yes, we are going to learn baked donuts. So to start with the ingredients that we need, first of all we need self-rising flour. I will tell you the measurement when we will be mixing it. At this point I'm just telling you the ingredients. Be very attentive when I will be telling you the measurement while I am making the dough. Vanilla extract, butter, 1 egg. This is yeast that I have used, dry active yeast, then confectionery sugar and milk. So to start with, what we need is, first we will take a big bowl, and we also need baking powder. So this is double acting baking powder that I am using. So you can use the same or whatever baking powder you have got. So now first we will mix all our dry ingredients together. So to start with, first I will take 1.5 cup of self-rising flour. You can use all-purpose flour as well, but I prefer to use self-rising flour for my donuts and when I'm basically baking it. And 2 tablespoons more. So we have used 1.5 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now I will add a teaspoon of salt to this. Two tablespoons of sugar, that is powdered sugar. Now we will give it a good mix until everything is well incorporated. We will keep this aside and we will start working on our wet ingredients. For our wet ingredients, I have taken a cup, big cup. In that, I am going to add in half cup of milk, then I will be using 3 tablespoons of water, 1, 2 and 3. Then I will add 1 teaspoon of my baking vanilla. I'll add a bit more. And last, I will be adding a tablespoon of butter. So you can see I am using this particular butter, you can say a stick, and it is measured as 1 tablespoon. So I will be using 1 tablespoon of butter. So I will just cut and then put in my butter. At this point, I will also add in 1 egg. Okay. And I will mix the mixture well. We will put it in microwave for 30 seconds for the milk and mixture to heat up and for the butter to melt. Now the butter has melted and we will just give it a good stir again, the whole mixture. And at this point, what I am going to do, at this point I am going to add in the dry active yeast so that the yeast gets activated in the warm milk, warm mixture. So I'll put in all my yeast. This is like 1 packet is equal to 2 and 1/4 of a teaspoon. So 2 teaspoon plus 1/4 of a teaspoon. So you can use this, or if you have a whole packet of yeast, you can just measure it as 2 teaspoon plus 1/4 of the teaspoon. We will give it a mix. And then we will leave it to become frothy and get activated. It will take approximately 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for it to get activated, for the yeast to get activated and our mixture to be ready. Now to our dry ingredient, we will add 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, I am using self-rising flour, so I am using very less amount of baking powder. But if you are using any like the all-purpose flour, regular flour, then you should add around 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. So now you can see our liquid mixture is ready. See the amount of froth and the, like, you know, this shows that the yeast is activated and it is ready to use. So we waited for approximately 10 to 15 minutes for our yeast to get ready. So now we will again give it a bit of a stir and then slowly we will add in our liquid mixture in there. This dough is going to be a sticky dough, so don't worry if it is like, this dough is supposed to be sticky. Just take this out of the whisk and then mix it with your hand. That is the best way to do when you are doing it for the donuts. Okay, so now we will be giving it a good mix, and this dough is going to be like this, sticky, and later on we will add a bit more of butter to it while we will be kneading it, so to have a smooth surface. So we will be mixing the dough, and then once it has somehow mixed, we will take this out on our kitchen counter. Mind it, the kitchen counter should be very clean. I wiped it with sanitizer and that's how I'm using. And it is preferable to use your hand. If you have a mixer like KitchenAid mixer, then mixer you can use that. Otherwise, I prefer to use my hand. And yes, if you are wondering if my hand is clean, it is very, very clean. And I not only washed it with soap, I have actually used sanitizer after that. So in case you guys are wondering. Okay, to see the dough is so sticky. At this point, what I am going to do is, I am going to remove this like dough from my fingers, and then I will just wash my hand and I will show you what I do. So let me remove it. So after washing my hand, I have taken I will take a bit of butter in my palm, and then I will just like rub it like this, and then now with my hand, now I will start working with the dough. That's how the dough will not stick to my hand and I will be able to knead it very well. For the dough to release gluten, it is very important for you to actually knead the dough for say 5 to 7 minutes. And how you do it, you take butter between your palm, rub it like this, okay, and then just fold it like this. You should always fold it in and then knead the dough. This way we are incorporating the butter as well in our dough. You remember, like we used less butter, that is around only a tablespoon of butter. I saved the another tablespoon to do this, because this way it becomes easy for me to knead the dough if I don't have the mixer, and it is not a very sticky affair as well. it is sticking to the surface, it's okay. You can just pull it and then start working. The more you will knead the dough, the better it will have the gluten released. And as we are working to have our gluten released in our dough, so that when we will be baking it, it will have nice, wonderful net within the dough. So that is the reason we are actually giving it so much time in kneading the dough. I know it is a painful process, but I prefer to do it with hand, because that's how, see, the moment your dough will be nice and good, you will know it, because it will start becoming very smooth on the outer surface, no more sticking to our platform, and it will start pulling off on its own. So okay, so how we know it's ready is, see, we take the dough, see, it's so nice and it's popping up. So it's fluffy, but it's not. So that means our gluten has started working. And now at this point, what we can do, so you can see now our dough is ready, and I will show you. See, it's coming out. See how nice it has released the gluten. How would you know is, you will pinch on the dough and it will pop it out. So now we will just spray some oil, or you can take a bit of butter and just like rub it on this bowl, and then we are going to put our dough in there. We are going to put our dough in there, and we are going to rest it in a warm place. Say for me, I will put it in my oven and close it, but definitely it's not on. And we will leave it for 45 minutes to rise and become double in size. And then we will come back and I will show you how to roll the donuts and we will bake them. So we have now rested our dough for 45 minutes, and let's see how it looks after 45 minutes of proofing. Oh my god, see how amazing it has proved. So now we will just punch it and release the air, and I will show you. I will break it and show you how beautiful. See the gluten stretch. See, when I'm stretching the dough, this is how the dough should be. So at this point, I will flour my working surface. Then I will put the dough, and with the help of, I will put a bit of flour on my rolling pin as well, and I will just roll the dough like this. See how stretchy the dough is. So now my dough is rolled. Okay, so now I don't like spending at all on like buying a donut cutter. So today I'm going to show you how I do my donut. For that I will take a cookie cutter, and this is the piping tip. This is 1M tip that I'm using. So I will cut my dough like this, and then I will take my tip and then just cut a hole in the middle like so. So these will make small donuts. So we'll do for all of them. Okay, so now I will take my dough and I will put these on the baking sheet. Meanwhile, we will again flour the surface, and this time I am going to make, so today I will show you how to make filled stuffed donut as well. So I will just make this. I have rolled the dough. Okay, and now I will take a small cookie cutter and I will cut my donuts. So these are going to become these are the small donuts that we have cut out. So we will keep them also on the sheet. And meanwhile, I will just put my rolling pin and I'll cut one more donut. Now here are the donuts that we just rolled. So now we will keep this with, I'll just cover it and keep this to rise for say half an hour, and then we will come back and bake these. So as we have kept our donut to melt, meanwhile let's prepare the chocolate that we are going to coat on our baked donuts. So I have taken a double boiler. In this, like I have water in here, and I have my white chocolate candy melts in my bowl on top. So now we will, like, as the water heats up, the steam from the water, the hot steam from the water will lead to melting of our white candy. So once they are completely melted, and then we will have our donuts ready. So we will after that we will dip the donuts in the chocolate and decorate it. So once I will show you how I do this once I'm done. So we will come let's melt the chocolate as of now. Stir it a bit so that the heat is uniformly distributed among all the candy melts. So here is our chocolate, which is melting now, and we will keep melting it until it is completely runny in texture. You need a dipping consistency, so you have to make sure that your chocolate is runny in consistency, otherwise like you will not get the dipping consistency. So as I have not paused the video, so you can see how much time exactly it takes to melt the chocolate. So here are our donuts, and see how beautiful it has rised, and It is so fluffy and it is healthy. We will just take it out on a plate and then we will start to decorate them, and we will start to glaze them with chocolate, dip them in a chocolate. And so here is my melted chocolate, which we just melt, and I will give it a good stir so that it is nicely liquidy. And we will start working on our donuts right away. So I will take one donut. See how soft it is. See, so beautiful and soft. This is hot, so I'll just dip it in chocolate and swirl it well, and then take off the excess and then put it on the slab, and then we will and before the chocolate starts settling, we will sprinkle with these chocolate sprinklers. Don't they look amazing? We'll do with our second one. And then sprinkle these sprinklers. Take the third one, give it a nice swirl, pick it up, and this one we will do with our rainbow sprinklers. Oh my god, it looks so good. Look at this. Again, another one. Look at these beauties. Don't they look amazing? And they are so soft. Let it cool down and I will show you how they look inside. I'll break them open once they are cooled down and they are okay to handle. Meanwhile, we'll do another magic today. So these are the donuts that we made, and these are the ones that we are going to fill inside. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. To fill these donuts, what I am going to do is, so these donuts I am going to fill with Nutella. So how are we going to do that? Is we are going to take a tip, this is a round tip, and piping bag. So I have taken Wilton piping bags, and you can use whatever you prefer. So I'm going to take it out, and meanwhile what I'm going to do initially is going to put this nozzle in and then create a nice hole in between, okay, in all of them. Okay, so as we have done that, now we will put in this nozzle into our piping bag. Like so, and then with the help of, so to fill in the Nutella, you first need to fold it, okay, and then just hold it in your hand, making the fold like this, so that we do not need a huge lot of Nutella, so there is no point wasting it by, like, you know, sticking it on the sides. So here is our Nutella. I'm going to take this, okay, nice good quantity of it. Okay, and then we are just going to force our Nutella in, okay, and then we will take one donut, the hole we pushed, we are going to fill in the Nutella into our donut, okay, like so. And like this, put it in, swirl from the sides, and fill in good amount of Nutella inside. Do it with all the donuts. The last one, I don't want to really fill in my bag again, so I am pushing as hard as possible so that I can get every bit of my Nutella out. Wow, see how beautifully. Okay, so now we have filled in our donuts with Nutella. So what next? So let me show you what you can do to really seal them. So here is my my chocolate that I just melted my dark chocolate, and then going to stir it well, like so. And then just take a piece of Nutella, take one donut, and then just dip it in the chocolate, okay, like this, and keep it. We'll do with all of these. Okay, so we'll do with all of them. So what next? Let's get some white sprinklers. And let's sprinkle some of them on the donuts. Okay. We can take some rainbow sprinklers as well, and then just put them on. So, don't they look just amazingly beautiful? I'm sure they does. And here are our donuts. So they are all baked, yet they are just amazing, amazingly tasty. And I will show you how they look like once inside. I will just break open one, and I will show you how this filled Nutella filled donut looks like. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. They look amazing. They are full of Nutella inside, like you have seen it, right? See how beautiful. And they are so soft. See how soft it is. See how soft it is. And it's baked. It's like, it is no less than the one that we make, the one that we buy, the fried ones. So friends, please try these and let me know how they turned out for you. And I'm sure they would be equally tasty if you follow the exact recipe that I shared with you guys with the measurement. Be very careful with the measurements, and I'm sure they are going to turn out just amazing. Happy cooking, friends.